Hello, hello. D-Rock here from You First Outdoors. Nice cold day in the Virgin River Gorge. Jen's down there setting up a rappel. I'm going to do a short little canyon called Ghost Rider today, but I'm going to talk about a couple of rappelling devices I use and like. One of them is the Sterling ATS, and the other is the Sqwurel. So let's get to it. So both of these devices are easy to use, and there's pros and cons to both of them. I kind of the user finds their appropriate device. I like these two for different purposes. I like the ATS for shorter rappels, and anything larger, 50 to 200 feet or so, I prefer Sqwurel because of the ability to quickly add friction. Some may argue that you can add friction quickly to the ATS as well, and that may be true, but for the larger rappels, I prefer the Sqwurel. But for just banging out short rappels, you really can't beat an ATS. And the reason for me for not just sticking to one or the other is the wear on the device. So you bang out small rappels with the ATS, save the long rappels for the Sqwurel, so you don't put so much wear on the device. Also, sometimes I'll just stick with the Sqwurel, but I always keep an ATS on the harness as a backup device because, especially canyoneering in water or whatnot, the device can't pop off the carabiner. You can lose it, drop it in the water, never see it again. So it's good to have a backup device regardless. So Jen's heading down a really short rappel here, so I'll go ahead and demonstrate the ATS on that one. Okay, when you go to put on an ATS, it's pretty simple. You can either put it on that way and the curve is facing down, or now that gives you more friction. If you want less friction, you can place it this way. I will go with a little more friction. So this rappel is not very long at all, a few feet. Now, another way to add friction on this device is the horns here. You can wrap in like that, and that'll give you a little more friction. Or you can put in more like this. So this rope, we're going down double rope. It's 8.5. I'm just going to do a wrap like that for a little more friction. As you can see, it really bites down on that. So I'm going to take that off and just go down normal this way. And what if I'm going down too fast? I can do that, and I instantly have friction. I want to do less. Here we go, like that. Okay, I'm back up to that first rappel again because I can just walk around and come back up. I'm going to flip the device. Instead of the curve pushing down the rope, I'm going to have it this way, and that's going to give me less friction. So if I just want to shoot down this thing real quick, I'll have it that way. And I'll be able to, that's really loose. So that, way less friction there. So do I want to add more of that? Yeah, that works. I can hit that on the fly, come down,
but I don't really need to, so I can just come in real quick like that. Okay, we got a little bit of a larger Repel here, so I've rigged up a single strand. We're going to try the ATS on single strand, and it's 8.5 millimeters, so it's fairly skinny. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ATS on with the curve side, pressing down for more friction. So get that in, more friction there, and we're ready to begin. So this is going to be pretty fast, so I'm going to add more friction as I go if I think I need it. So I've got this facing pressing down to add more friction, and it's pretty fast, so I'm gonna put a wrap in, and that instantly gives me more friction. It's a little slower ride. It's kind of jerky, but it does the trick. So one con about the ATS that I've found is the horns here. If you're in a tight slot canyon kind of crawling over logs and stuff, they have a tendency to grab onto things, and I've actually had it flip over and with my wetsuit tear open my wetsuit. Okay, so now I'm at a 80-foot Repel, and I'm going to switch over to the Sqwurel. So I'm right-handed, the tail goes that way towards the brake hand. Get that on, and it's pretty simple. Now this rope is a 9 millimeter, so I'll go down this pretty quick as well. Put it in just like that. Now you can add more friction if you want to. Just bam, 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 and that is out. All right, so first I'm going to add some more friction right off the bat because I am on a single rope. I do have an auto block, but this is fairly new 9 millimeter rope, and trust me, you'll go down this. So right off the bat, it's loose, but not too bad. I do have an auto block on as well. So there we go. Now at this point, if I feel I'm going down too quick, I can easily put in that third wrap, and man, boom. Quickly added friction without having to do too much. Now, if it's too much, I can flip that out and continue on down. And I'm pretty comfortable with that being on the number 2 setting. However, as it gets a little steeper, I think I'll just flip back into the 3 setting, and that gives me quite a bit of extra friction. Now you can do this double rope as well. And there's a few more options to add more friction, which can be found in the pamphlet that actually comes with the device. All right, auto block held good, nice. And that was an easy, smooth 80-foot Repel. And one of the things I like about the Sqwurel is that as you're trudging down the canyon after Repel, you know, this thing's flopping around, you can take it off. But this is pretty easy, just to clip in like that, and off you go. More flopping around. All right, 2 great rappelling devices, the Sterling ATS and the Sqwurel. As I mentioned, I prefer the Sqwurel for longer rappels, although the ATS is suitable. It's just for me adding friction on the fly. The Sqwurel is the better choice for me. However, shorter rappels, just banging them out, yeah, you can't go wrong with an ATS as well. So both great devices. Up to the user to find which one's best for them.
As always, stay safe out there. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. D-Rock out.